Please rise for the national anthem. You may be seated. Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2025 commencement ceremony of the University of Arkansas School of Law. For those of you watching our live stream, a virtual welcome to you. Thank you to everyone who is with us today for sharing in the celebration and recognition of these graduates. I am Cindy Nance. It is my pleasure and my honor to serve as Dean of the School of Law. This is an exciting time in the law school's history. Last spring, we kicked off the celebration of our 100th anniversary with Founders Day. That marked the day the University of Arkansas Board of Trustees established the School of Law at the University of Arkansas. And last fall, the School of Law had the distinction of being the first school inducted into the Arkansas Bar Association Legal Hall of Fame. Today, recognizing the class of 2025 takes on added significance as we look to the next century of legal excellence and the pivotal role our storied history has played in shaping the future of our society. I have no doubt the class of 2025 will continue the extraordinary legacy of the School of Law. Our graduates this evening join more than 7,000 living alumni of this law school. They can be found in 50 states and more than 20 countries around the globe. They are public servants and in private practice. They are found in corporate boardrooms and are legal service providers. But the focus is on our graduates this evening. We are thankful for the opportunity to celebrate their achievements and to acknowledge the support and sacrifice of family and friends who have encouraged them in this significant journey. We have some special guests tonight, the platform party, who is also sharing this celebration, our honored guests and members of the law school faculty. I ask that you hold your applause until I have presented them all. From the University of Arkansas Administration, we are delighted to have Chancellor Charles Robinson joining us this evening, along with the University of Arkansas trustees, Colonel Nathan Todd and Trustee Ed Fryer. Our commencement speaker and distinguished alumna, Arkansas State Representative Carol Dalby, joined in the audience by her husband John Dalby. Our student speaker, Jalen Wilbon. As I introduce the platform party, will you stand as I call your name? Professor Carl Circle, Ben J. Altheimer Professor of Legal Advocacy. Professor Howard Brill, Vincent Foster University Professor of Legal Ethics and Professional Responsibility. Professor Blair Bullock, Professor Susan Snyder, William H. Enfield Professor of Law. Professor Christopher Kelly, Professor Kelly Nichols, Senior Associate Dean James Miller, Professor Amelia McGowan, Professor Annie Smith, Professor Sarah Gosman, Professor Steve Clowney, Professor Amanda Hurst, Professor Peter Norman, Professor Will Foster, Professor Daniel Bosquet, Professor Jacob Warlow, Professor Jack Thorlin, Professor Rob Anderson, Associate Dean Sarah Cravens, Professor Amanda Fisher, and Professor Benjamin Brady. Ladies and gentlemen, the platform party. Class of 2025, first and foremost, congratulations. We are all enormously proud of you. Graduating from law school is a monumental achievement. Believe it or not, I still remember that day as well. But also, you are graduating from the University of Arkansas School of Law as we conclude the celebration of our centennial year. That makes your accomplishment worthy of additional excitement and one that conveys great significance. Members of the class of 2025, you embody the culmination of 100 years of excellence, progress, and impact. You are not just law hogs, you are torchbearers carrying forward the values and ideals that have shaped our law school community for generations. It is our hope that your commitment to completing your legal education is a wonderful beginning on your path towards creating a more just society. I ask that, and I know you will, make a difference in the lives of others who will call upon you for your expertise, wisdom, and care in your communities, your state, or the nation. Family and friends, may I sing their praises? The members of the class of 2025 have already been making a difference for others. While they've been here, they have actively participated in our pro bono program, donating nearly 1,800 hours of pro bono service to the community. Their public service range from veterans clinics to record sealing clinics, estate planning, and small business clinics. They have traveled the state with Arkansas Access to Justice and Legal Aid to provide free legal aid in Helena, West Helena, Little Rock, Eudora, Jonesboro, Paragould, Brinkley, Berryville, Forest City, and Northwest Arkansas. They coordinated a professional clothing drive to support the law school's counselor's closet, and they hosted pickleball, kickball, and bowling tournaments and donated the proceeds to support the Springdale School District in their ability to pay the balance on students' deficient lunch accounts. They recognize the importance of self-care and relaxation, hosting Wellness Wednesday each week at the law school with opportunities to de-stress with therapy dogs, healthy foods, painting, beading, relaxing candles, classical and Latin jazz music, just to name a few activities. In addition, members of this class participated in the Arkansas Bar Association Public Service Academy. A moot court team from this class advanced to the 2025 American Bar Association National Appellate Competition Final Four in the country and was awarded 9th Best Oralist in the nation amongst 180 teams in the competition. Class of 2025 members served as the American Bar Association Law Student Division liaisons to many ABA entities, and they participated in the Delta Initiative, which introduces law students to the Arkansas Delta communities and high school students to the possibilities of obtaining a law degree. As people to whom much has been given, the class of 2025 has in turn given back. And for that, we are very, very proud of them. And I thought you should know about their good works. Class of 2025, you leave us today to join a noble profession with the knowledge, skills, and values you've worked hard to master. Upon passing the bar, you will hold the public's trust. You will speak for others. You will be called upon to protect and defend their rights, and in doing so, you will preserve the rule of law for all, enabling us to thrive in a robust democracy. Know again how very proud we are of you and how honored we are to share this ceremony with you, your friends, and family. As you embark on the next phase of your legal career, you become an integral part of our institution's rich history, marking another milestone as we enter the second century. We will follow your journeys with great interest and pride. We won't charge you interest. Each year, members of the graduating class elect a peer to deliver the student commencement address. This year's speaker is Jalen Wilburn. Jalen, a native of Memphis, Tennessee, graduated summa cum laude from the University of Memphis with a Bachelor of Business Administration, concentrating in banking and financial services. While at the University of Memphis, Jalen was a starting outfielder for the Tigers baseball team. During law school, Jalen distinguished himself through leadership and service. He served as vice president of the Black Law Students Association, an associate member of the Board of Advocates, and the American Bar Association representative to the Student Bar Association, and as a member of the Arkansas Trial Lawyers Association. In these roles, he coordinated the 2024 Chauncey E. Brummer Symposium. He represented the School of Law at Tulane Professional Basketball Negotiation Competition and earned finalist honors in the 2025 Board of Advocates Negotiations Competition. Jalen's legal experience includes a judicial internship with the Honorable Christy D. Comstock of the United States District Court for the Western District of Arkansas, and an internship with Shelby County District Attorney's Office. He also had a corporate counsel externship with Walmart's tax department and a 2-year legal internship with Adams and Reese. Following the bar exam, Jalen will return to his hometown of Memphis to begin his legal career as an associate attorney with Adams and Reese. Please welcome Jalen to the podium.
Thank you, Dean Nance. Now, before I begin this speech, I think my colleagues would be rather disappointed if I didn't properly introduce myself. So with that being said, my name is Jalen Wilburn, and I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, what many refer to as the most beautiful land in the world. Now, first and foremost, I want to thank our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for bringing me and my colleagues together to conquer this once-in-a-lifetime journey. I also want to thank our friends and families for being here in support of the class of 2025 this evening. I want to thank Dean Nance, Dean Miller, Dean Murphy, all of our professors, faculty, and administration for teaching, guiding, supporting, and uplifting us throughout our time at the law school. Of course, I want to thank my mom, my dad, brother, grandparents, aunts and uncles, and my entire family, as each of you played a pivotal role in this journey. And finally, I didn't forget about y'all, the class of 2025. I want to thank each and every one of you. Thank you for your grind, your competitiveness, your love, and your support, as each of you made these 3 years some of the best years of my life. Now, I'd be telling a lie if I said I wasn't slightly nervous standing up here before you guys this evening, but I think my colleagues would also agree that the level of nervousness I'm feeling right now is absolutely nothing compared to the nervousness that we all felt on the second day of orientation after we found out that Professor Gosman would be cold calling us in our mock class. It's crazy times. But when I received the announcement from Ms. Granita Johnson that I had been selected to be our commencement speaker, the first thing I asked myself was, how do I describe the class of 2025? The first thing I came up with was great, but I could also hear Miss Tracy Defferbaugh in the back of my ear saying, Jalen, don't make me call your mom because you know I will. So I went back to the drawing board. The second thing that came to mind was the class of 2025 is a beautiful group of individuals, driven, respectable, intelligent, versatile, and downright exceptional, equipped with a skill set that will leave a lasting impact on this country and the legal community. Now, since this is a law school graduation, I feel like it's appropriate that I provide some evidence to support that statement. So with that being said, we had 23 students on Arkansas Law Review and 9 students on the Arkansas Journal of Food Law and Policy. Across those 2 journals, we had 14 students get their work published. Our Board of Advocates had 32 members, and it also supported 17 students as it competed in several mock trial, moot court, and negotiations competitions across this country. In fact, one of our traveling moot court teams not only competed at nationals, but it was also awarded the best appellate brief in the country and competed and finished as quarterfinalists. We've also had several students hold executive roles for several nationally recognized organizations. We've also had some students complete law school while working as CPAs, ministers, pastors, mentors, you name it. And we even had some raise families throughout their time at the law school. And I'm not talking about just 1 or 2 kids. If you ask around, we have some raising 3 or 4, and they're still sitting here in this crowd today. Now, at this point, I know you're probably asking 2 things. 1, how much time did they give him to speak? And 2, is he almost done yet? But I'll tell you one thing. In the field of law, your highest burden of proof is beyond a reasonable doubt. And well, I gladly accept that burden because 1, I love my colleagues, and 2, by the time I get done speaking, not a single person in this building will have a single doubt about the class of 2025. So I ask you to stay with me for just a little bit longer. Back to the evidence. Our class has also logged over 1,700 pro bono hours, helping citizens across the state of Arkansas. Several students have already secured postgraduate employment with several judges, corporations, and law firms across this country. And we even have some brave students going back into the classroom to obtain their MBAs and LLMs. Now, after hearing all that, I would ask you, do you believe me now? But instead, I'll use one of my father's famous statements. One need not be an astute legal practitioner to recognize that the class of 2025 is well on its way to shape the future of the bar, the state of Arkansas, the United States of America, and this country as a whole. But I still want to circle back to my initial question. How do I describe the class of 2025? The answer is much deeper than a few adjectives, some notable accomplishments, and secured employment. This is how I, Jalen Wilbin, would actually describe our class. The class of 2025 is a group of individuals who all decided to take a leap of faith and maintained it throughout the course of 3 years and 90 credit hours. While I understand the concept of faith can be described in several different ways, I personally would like to refer to the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for this evening. Dr. King said that faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Now, when we walked through the doors of the Leffler Law Center in August of 2022, we were all drenched in sweat from walking up all those 25 different hills around this campus to get to the law school. But in all seriousness, when we walked through those doors, we could all say that we wanted to leave that place in May of 2025 with the Juris Doctorate. But the thing is, we didn't know what battles we would have to face to obtain it. We didn't know that on our journey up that staircase, we would need countless eye doctor's appointments, would suffer from financial hardship, anxiety, depression, or even lose some of our closest loved ones along the way. But through whatever moments of adversity we faced, we all maintained faith. Now, on a happier note, many of us had no idea that we would land life-changing job opportunities that would allow us to help our friends, families, or just those in need. But that's the result of maintaining faith. Or on a more comical note, none of us knew that the elements of arson were probably the most important aspect of your standard criminal law class. And as we all know, that took a lot of faith. And we still don't know the elements of our sin. But I say all of that to make one thing clear. Law school is full of challenges, unknowns, and sacrifices. And despite what those challenges, unknowns, and sacrifices may have been, I can confidently stand here today and say that the class of 2025 took that leap of faith and maintained it as we helped each other up that staircase. We stood by one another through trials and tribulations. We celebrated each other's victories. And we found each other when we were lost. And today, as I look out at all of you, our caps and gowns are more than just a tradition. They're a testament to that faith. And in just a few minutes, we can all say that it was completely worth it. Now, to the class of 2025, I'm extremely proud of each and every one of you, and I'm excited to see where life takes you next. And before I sit down, and I promise I'm about to go sit down, I'll leave you with one quote from Langston Hughes. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Class of 2025, I want to thank you all for absolutely everything. I love you all. Now go be great.
Thank you, Jalen, for your warm remarks. We appreciate you. I now have the pleasure of introducing a friend and one of the School of Law's most notable alumni, our 2025 commencement speaker, Arkansas State Representative Carol Dalby. Her impressive bio is contained in your program, but I'd like to highlight just a few of her achievements. She began serving in the House of Representatives in 2017, representing District 100, which is Miller County. She made history in the state as the first woman to be appointed the chair of the House Judiciary Committee. Currently, she serves on the House Insurance and Commerce Committee and the Legislative Joint Auditing Committee. We are sincerely grateful for her strong support of the School of Law and the University of Arkansas. Her support has truly made a difference. Representative Dalby is a longstanding and active member of the Arkansas Bar Association, and she will assume the role of president-elect in June. She currently serves on the Arkansas Bar Association's Board of Trustees and its Law Schools Committee. She graduated from Ouachita Baptist University and later earned her master's degree from East Texas State University, now Texas A&M. She earned her JD from the University of Arkansas School of Law in 1986. Please join me in warmly welcoming University of Arkansas School of Alumni and my friend, Arkansas State Representative Carol Dalby.
Good afternoon. It's great to see each and every one of you here today. Chancellor Robinson, members of the Board of Trustees, Dean Nance, esteemed faculty, proud family, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2025. It is truly an honor for me to be here with you today. Thank you, Dean, for that very kind and generous introduction. You never know when you're in politics whether they're going to cuss you, set you on fire, or maybe say a few nice words. So I really appreciate you choosing the latter of those options for me today. And thank you to the class of 2025 for inviting me to be with you today as you celebrate your graduation from the University of Arkansas School of Law. In my opinion, the best law school there is by far. This is truly an exciting and monumental day in your life, and I am truly privileged to be a part of your day. It is a tremendous honor to stand before you today in historic Barnhill. As I looked across this arena, I am quickly taken back to a Sunday afternoon in Barnhill when the Razorbacks were taking on the University of Houston Cougars, who at that time were #1 in the nation. And they had a future NBA star on their team, Akeem Olajuwon, playing for them. The game was being broadcast on CBS. It was a very big deal, a nationally televised game. It was a cold and snowy January day, and our group was sitting just right over there on the second row. We convinced the cameraman that day that we never got to go home because at that time there was only a 2-lane road to Fayetteville, and it was covered in snow. And if he would just get us on TV, it would be the highlight of our life. And we begged, and we pleaded, and sure enough, on the next commercial break, he put us on TV. Well, it was our big chance to holler, "Go Hogs," "Pig Suey," "Woo Pig," and all the wonderful things that you say in an athletic contest in Fayetteville. Guess what we yelled? "Hi, Mom." "Hi, Mom." We had our big chance and we yelled, "Hi, Mom." Well, go figure. Now, by the way, that afternoon, the Razorbacks were victorious. But ever since that day, way long ago on that Sunday snowy afternoon in Fayetteville, Arkansas, in Barnhill Arena, our chance to say "Go Hogs," we said, "Hi, Mom." So if you'll indulge me, because you've got to, you've invited me today, you're my captive audience. And so if you'll indulge me for just a moment on the count of 3, I want to hear a robust "Go Hogs." It'll make up for that day of "Hi, Mom." Can you do it? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Go Hogs! All right. I was hoping y'all would join me with that. Well, never in my wildest dreams when I walked across the stage 39 years ago, which, by the way, was in a ballroom over here at the Union. We had about 85 in our class, 80 to 85, to receive my law degree. Did I ever think that I would be invited to be the law school graduation speaker? In fact, when we lined up that day to receive our diploma, I distinctly remember asking the person in front of me, "Are you graduating with honors?" And she said no, and I said good, because I knew I wasn't graduating with honors, and I sure didn't want her to have all these honors after her and then I show up. So it was really nice to find that out. When Dean Nance invited me on your behalf, I was on the House floor. I couldn't answer my phone, and truthfully, I thought she might have concerns about pending legislation. I know you find that hard to imagine that anybody's concerned with the Arkansas legislature might do. I didn't think much about it. I thought, well, or maybe she was fretting over her budget and what the legislature was doing with her budget. Not to worry, Dean. We left it alone. For the time being, we left it alone. We did have a moment to visit later in that day, and my first question to her was, how in the heck was I selected? Okay, well, maybe I used a different word, but you can insert whatever word. And she and I had a good laugh, and she said, "Well, Carol, actually, you're the second choice to be the speaker." Okay, well, I said, "Who?" Because I want to know. You never know. Is it somebody I need to be concerned about? Well, it was. Evidently, Reese Witherspoon, a.k.a. Elle Woods, was y'all's first choice to speaker. Now, let me say, I am not the least bit offended to come in second to Reese Witherspoon. In fact, it may be even a greater honor that I am runner-up to Reese. You understand we're now on first-name basis? As I never, ever in my lifetime would have thought I could have said Reese Witherspoon and my name in the same sentence. It's wow. I mean, just wow. Reese and I were like this now. But I do want you to think about, in the words of a great legal scholar, L. Woods, I feel comfortable using legal jargon in everyday life. So let's get started this afternoon and use some of that legal jargon you have learned these last 3 years. Well, to the graduating class, congratulations, you made it. Let's take just a moment to think back like Jalen did in his speech, and wherever he went, he's out here somewhere, and he thought back for just a moment. And I think anybody who has been through law school and gets to this point, you can't help but think back. You came into law school that hot August day, not really knowing your classmates and not knowing what was ahead of you. Those unfamiliar classmates with whom you are now sitting with today are now lifelong friends and soon to be your professional colleagues. Those that you are with today are those you're going to see for here on out, good or bad. They have seen you on your good days, they have seen you on your bad days, they have seen you struggle, and they have seen you soar. Cherish the folks that you're sitting with today, because you're going to be seeing them a lot in the future as you practice law. Preparing for today, you have given me that rare opportunity for time to reflect on my time as a law student. I can still remember 42 years ago, I know I look a lot younger than that, but 42 years ago, the very first question asked on the very first day of my very first law class, which was criminal law. I remember it as though it was this morning. We were in the old courtroom, which is now your courtyard. That's where our courtroom was. And Professor Guzman walks in, it's our whole class, walks in, makes no introduction, doesn't say a thing, and promptly asks, Mr. Brewer, what's the holding in Gideon versus Wainwright? To this day, I thank my lucky stars that Professor Guzman didn't call on me, as I had absolutely no idea what a holding was, much less what it was in Gideon versus Wainwright. I bet you can remember and know what that holding is. Well, I figured my 2L year had to go a little smoother and surely wouldn't be fraught with quite the fear of that first day of my 1L class. We rode a bus. I lived down at the end of Garland, rode a bus. The buses were running late. I was on time, the buses were late. I get up there to the class. The doors are locked. So I knock on the door, and I finally get someone to come and open the door. And as luck would have it, I have to trudge up the steps of that big classroom, and there was a seat right on the very end. The class was being taught by Professor Brill. After I got there, sat down, everybody on the row, hey, how are you doing? What'd you do last night? We were chit-chatting, we were waving. We were having a grand time. And all of a sudden, I hear my name called. And for the next few minutes, Professor Brill grilled me on the finer points of ethics. Let's just say, all those who were so glad to see me just a few minutes early turned on me like a den of snakes when Professor Brill started down the aisle asking them questions. Later today, after the ceremony, if you have time, I want to tell you about our 3L class schedule that somehow failed to schedule any Friday classes. Suffice it to say, there were few sober breaths drawn between Thursday night and Sunday afternoon that semester. I am absolutely sure such a scheduling error has not occurred since 1986. Think about your experiences these last 3 years. Some good, some not so good, some just a lot of fun. Your first day just 3 years ago, no doubt as you look back, does seem just like yesterday. Each of you will have those first of the days that you will look back fondly and chuckle. It may take a few years, but you'll find the humor in some of it at some point, trust me. Think, you have survived. You have navigated case law, analyzed complex opinions, survived the Socratic method, and emerged ready to assume the title you have long pursued, that of lawyer. I am proud of you, and I can assure you that there's a whole sea of people here this afternoon that are proud of you. I have the privilege of looking out and seeing the smiles and looks of pride upon your family and friends' faces. I hope this day you will take a moment to let that soak in, that you are graduating law school, which is an accomplishment few achieve. You should be proud, as we are proud of you, and you are to be congratulated. As you walk across the stage and receive your degree, I want to ask you to consider a few larger questions. What will you do with it? What kind of lawyer are you going to be? Because today isn't just about entering the practice of law, it's about deciding how you're going to use your law degree, not just to make a living, but to make a difference. You spent the past 3 years learning how to think like a lawyer. You learned to argue both sides, see the nuance, to find that thread of justice within that web of procedure. But there's more than just that to the practice of law. Your degree is more than just a blank check for great riches. It is a blank check for great opportunities, for great service. Law is more than depositions and motions, more than verdicts and settlements. The law is a tool. Sometimes the law is a hammer that can destroy. Sometimes it's a scalpel that can be precise in its discernment. The law is the language of power, a framework for fairness, and a shield for the vulnerable. A law degree opens doors, no doubt, yes it does, but it also hands you a responsibility to stand up when it would be easier to stay quiet, to speak out when others are silent, and to lead when no one else will. You will hold in your hands from this day forward the power to build up, the power to break down, and the power to reconcile. What will you do with this power? But let me say something very plainly. You are not your billable hour. It's easy, especially in the first few years, to fall into the trap of measuring your worth by 6-minute increments. And yes, law firms need to run, clients need service, and hours must be tracked. But don't let the billable hour become the sum of your ambition. The law is too powerful, and your talent is too precious to spend your entire career chasing numbers and chasing riches. Find that work that feeds your purpose, not just your timesheet. Take on that pro bono case. Help a neighbor draft a will. Mentor a student. Volunteer with the legal aid clinic. Give someone a fighting chance who never had one. Only you and your fellow lawyers with whom you are here with today are given this well-earned privilege. Why, you're even going to have a license to do those things. Take advantage of what you are given. You didn't come this far to add hours to a timesheet. You didn't come this far to be a number. You came to serve, to stand for something, to be a part of something bigger. The person you meet at the grocery store, the person you sit next to at church, your child's teacher, they all need you. Your community needs you, your city needs you, and your state needs you. We live in a moment when trust in institutions is fragile, where injustice too often goes unanswered, and where laws are being tested in new ways almost every day. The voices of those who understand the law and use it for good are needed now more than ever. I urge you to be courageous to stand in that gap, stand up for something, and stand up for someone. Serve on a local board. Volunteer your time. Get involved in your local and state bar associations, because those are truly the people who will help you along the way. Help someone navigate the system who otherwise would be crushed by it. Because every time you do, you reaffirm something vital. The law belongs to the people, not just the privileged, and not just to those in power. It belongs to everyone. I cannot leave you today without urging you to run for office. We need lawyers in the legislature. Out of the 100 members of the Arkansas House of Representatives, there are only 10 lawyers. Just 10. Let that soak in. And there are only 2 lawyers in the Arkansas Senate. We need you. Your state needs you. To be truthful, I never planned to run for the House of Representatives. But when the opportunity presented itself, I did not want to look back on my life and wish that I had, but I didn't. I'll tell you a little secret. I distinctly remember driving to Little Rock from Texarkana on a very cold, overcast Sunday afternoon. It seems like those cold, overcast Sunday afternoons get me. Well, sure enough, I was headed to Little Rock to prepare to be sworn in the following day to represent the 30,000 people of my district. And thinking to myself, what have I gotten myself into? I know no one. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't even know where the ladies' rooms are at the Capitol. And let me tell you, that's a feat to learn in itself. But I drove on, and I'm glad I did. Each time I walk through those double doors of the Arkansas House of Representatives, and I look up, and there's a beautiful stained glass dome in our chamber. Just spectacular. I am reminded that I have the privilege and the opportunity to do something good for my district and for my state. I am reminded that public service is good, and it's an honorable pursuit. I don't want to leave you with the impression that it's all a bed of roses. You can follow the news and you know it's not. You can watch social media and know that we take our fair share of slings and arrows. But as long as you work hard, remember those who trusted you to represent them, and in all things lead with courage, compassion, and conviction. Those slings and arrows will miss their mark. We are called as attorneys to step into the arena. We are not called to be shrinking violets. We are called to leave a place better than we have found it, and we are called to plant seeds of trees under which we will never sit. Some of the saddest words in the English language are, I wish I would have, I should have, I wish I could have. Do your best to avoid those words, and do your best to serve your state. Now, I want to offer you another final piece of advice, not just as a speaker, but as a fellow human being who has seen how fast time moves. Make time for your family. Law is demanding. There's always one more email to send, one more draft to revise, one more hearing to prepare for, but don't let the urgent crowd out the important. Barbara Bush once told the graduates of Wellesley, at the end of your life, you will never regret not having passed one more test, not winning one more verdict, or closing one more deal. You will regret time not spent with a spouse, a friend, a child, or a parent. So yes, pursue excellence, but also be home for dinner. Call your parents. Take that vacation. Tuck your kids in at night. Because in the end, those are the things that will really matter the most. Those are the moments you will cherish as you live your life between the dashes. The legal profession you're entering today is not the same one your professors joined, and it won't be the same one 5, 10, 20 years from now. When I began, there were no computers, no fax machines, and now those are obsolete. No cell phones, no emails, no text. We actually had to pick up a phone. We had to call opposing counsel. And remember, it was probably someone in our hometown. Better be nice to them. We had to actually meet with our clients face to face. We talked and we wrote letters, which, by the way, never ever write a letter or a text until you let it sit for 24 hours if you're in the heat of battle, because you may not feel the same way 24 hours down the road. Technology is changing everything from how we file briefs to how we conduct discovery and how we access justice. AI is here. Quite frankly, I was tempted to run my speech through ChatGPT. I didn't. Maybe if I had, you might be inspired to change the world. As it is, I hope you're inspired to change your slice of the world. New expectations abound everywhere in the practice of law. And the truth is, change is the only thing that's constant in our practice. And that's okay. As long as remember that the law is really about people and that we are really in the people business. No matter what technology brings to the table, remember to treat those you deal with as the person that they deserve to be. Treat them with dignity and respect, because they do deserve that. So the question is, what are you going to do? How are you going to adapt in this changing world? Will you cling to the ways that have always been done, or will you be a part of building something better, a profession that is more accessible, more inclusive, and more responsive to the people it serves? Justice delayed is justice denied. At this point in our nation's history, we need you. We need lawyers. We need people who don't just know the law, but who stand up for it, who will defend it, and who will push it forward. You will not always be popular, and no doubt the keyboard warriors will take after you. But your courage, compassion, and conviction will hold you in good stead. Our democracy doesn't run on autopilot. Justice doesn't defend itself. Truth doesn't always shout the loudest. But we need you. We need your skills. We need your integrity. We need your fire. We need it now more than ever. When you look to your left and you look to your right today, these are your friends, who at times will be your adversaries. They are your colleagues. They are the ones who will stand with you for the downtrodden, for the disenfranchised, and for those looking to lawyers to bring order to the chaos that now exists. Never forget, these are your friends. I want to remind you in the wise words of the great philosopher, Big Whiskey. Oh, y'all know where Big Whiskey is. Don't act like that. May your goodbyes never be said today, and may friendships never be broken. You needed each other when you walked into Waterman Hall 3 years ago. You need each other today, and you will need each other 5, 10, 20, 40 years from today. And may these friendships that you forged in Waterman Hall never be broken. Class of 2025, you are walking into the world that is complicated, divided, and in need of repair. But guess what? You're walking into it with a law degree, one of the most powerful tools of change ever created. Use it wisely, use it boldly, use it for good. Congratulations, class of 2025. We're counting on you. Go Hogs.
Thank you, Representative Dalby. We are honored that you joined us here today. And thank you for reminding us of the power and responsibility of the credentials each of us hold. And now, graduates, let's make you official. I now invite Chancellor Robinson to the podium to confer the degrees.
Thank you, Dean Nance. Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon each of you the degree indicated on your diploma with all the rights, privileges, responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
This is a time I believe many of you have been anticipating. We will now proceed with the presentation and hooding of our Juris Doctor candidates. The class of 2025 has selected Professors Howard Brill and Blair Bullock as the professors who will hood them. Professors Brill and Bullock, please come forward to assist with the hooding of our JD candidates. Our graduates' names will be read by Professor Carl Circle and School of Law Assistant Dean of Admissions Tracy Deffabaugh. The graduates' pro bono service and Latin honors are noted in your printed program. Juris Doctorate candidates, once you receive your degree, exit the stage and please return to your seats. Okay. I'm supposed to say something? That's it?
Emily Claire Allen, cum laude. Devin Cade Alvin. Sarah Arne, summa cum laude. Samber Arnold. Madison Rose Bailey, magna cum laude. William Balestrino, cum laude. Adele Lloyd Barnes. Meredith Ann Bart. Leah Barton. Sadie Bauman. Holly Blair Benson. Taylor Ashley Bowman. Julia Bolin. Caitlin Bookout, cum laude. Tristan Branstetter Thomas. Macy Grace Burschfield, magna cum laude. Sky Caldwell. Caitlin Elizabeth Campbell, magna cum laude. Jackson Carter. Willie A. Chappell, Jr. Tatum Aaron Cooper. Bodie Lynn Cotter. James Howard Curlin IV, cum laude. Joanna Elizabeth Day Rohr. Alexandra Elise Donahue, magna cum laude. Eleanor Duffield. Grant Thomas Eshelman, cum laude. Mackenzie Fenig, cum laude. Bay Fleming. Peyton Flower, summa cum laude. Martha Gardner, cum laude. Haley Alexandria Garner. Ilsa Manuel Gent. Reed Grady. Grace Ann Green, cum laude. Margaret Elizabeth Haberman, magna cum laude. Matthew Haley, magna cum laude. Michael Dwayne Hammonds. Logan Hardison. Donald T. Harris, Jr. Samuel Harris. Chloe Hawkins, magna cum laude. Caleb Henry, magna cum laude. Madison Nicole Hernandez, cum laude. Joseph Hicks. Cameron Hockle, cum laude. Aaron Hoffman. Helen Hope, cum laude. Tom Hubbard, magna cum laude. Cade Huckabee. Holiday Hull. Carlin Fitzpatrick Johnson, cum laude. Grant Michael Johnson. Alexis Jones. Miles Kirshner, cum laude. Michael L. Coots. Cody Allen Lightfoot.
Caleb Lloyd. Leah Lovell.
Oh, I'm sorry. Cum laude. Bailey Lovett, cum laude. Hayden Marshall. Lindsay Lynch Mast, summa cum laude. Hannah McClendon. Tierra Charday McCraney. Madeline McCulloch, cum laude. Mallory Kathleen McElroy. Nicholas J. Mendeville. Shauna Lee Myers, magna cum laude. Manoa Milam, magna cum laude. Joshua Milligan, magna cum laude. Alyssa Nickel. Alexis O'Neill. Allison Grace Oliver, cum laude. Scott Openlander, magna cum laude. Maggie Osborne, cum laude. Chloe Lamone Ostenberg. Whitney Payne, magna cum laude. Marcos A. Perez. Is it Peel? Christopher Thomas Peel, summa cum laude. Stephanie Ponzanelli. Anna Marie Poole, cum laude. Cody Preston, magna cum laude. Josh Prusak, magna cum laude. John Michael C. Regan. Peyton Rayoum.
Abigail Riddle, summa cum laude. Billy Van Sanders. Christian Jolt Sandor. Brennan Saunders. Nathan Saunders, magna cum laude. Alyssa Michelle Savage. Will Scobie. Dan Cedric, magna cum laude. Courtney Sly. Walker Trumbo Smith, cum laude. Wesley Joe Sowell, cum laude. Benjamin Spate, cum laude. Dalton Gabriel Springer, magna cum laude. Jackson Steiner. Jacob Allen Stringer. Harley Somerville, cum laude. Jack Thayer. Jake Troy. Savannah Ray Van, cum laude. Karina Vera Rosario. Carter Milligan Wade, magna cum laude. Amber Ann Watson. Spencer Weech. Jordan Whitfield, summa cum laude. Jalen Andre Wilbon. Zaria Simone Williams. John Wilson. Tanner Woody. Vol Colton Woods, magna cum laude. Justice Alexandra Ewell.
I'd also like to thank Granita Johnson, our Director of Community Engagement, for assisting me with the diplomas today. Graduates, will you please stand? I present to you the class of 2025. You may be seated. Graduates, the Arkansas Alumni Association also congratulates you on joining the international community of more than 180,000 University of Arkansas alumni. If we have any University of Arkansas school alumni in the house, will you stand and be recognized? All right, we see you. Class of 2025, your name will soon be engraved on Senior Walk, making you a part of the tradition unique to the University of Arkansas. But there's another group who deserves recognition. Your success is possible not only because of your hard work, but because of the sacrifices, support, love, and resources of the people who joined you here today. Please join me in applauding all the guests who have come today and those viewing live stream who are celebrating your achievements virtually and all who contributed to your success. I would also like to thank our law school staff. Please stand or wave. Those of you responsible for this occasion. My colleagues on the faculty, our sign language interpreters, and the student volunteers who help make this ceremony a success. Graduates, don't forget to stop by the Alumni Association table to see Colin Bruner and Dylan Hollums to receive your membership pin. Graduates, please stand and prepare for the recessional. You will recess following the stage party. Guests, please wait for the recessional to exit the room and meet your graduates outside. Thank you all for joining us in celebrating the class of 2025.